Hi, everybody. Welcome to the workshop. Our workshop today is getting into the groove. We'll be talking more about how to get ready for the semester and stuff. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves first. Go ahead, Simi. Click next.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm Victoria Rico. I'm a fourth-year political science major. I'm the development coordinator and SMP mentor, and mentor for the SMP program.
Hi, and I'm Samaya Hossein. I'm a fourth year psychology major, and I'm also an SMP mentor.
For our agenda, we'll be talking about how to get ready for the semester, stuff like that. Then we're most importantly going to talk about burnout and how to prevent burnout, especially to learn the early signs. And then we'll go into establishing self-care routines and then our last final remarks. So we'll go ahead and get started.
So the first slide is getting into the groove. There's a lot of ways to get back into action and starting the semester with a good head start. Some of the ways that you can do that is like trying to fix your sleep schedule, like trying to get a stable sleep schedule is really important because it really helps you get a good start and like helps you feel like balanced throughout the day and not like tired and weirdly like awake and like weird times and stuff like that, and like makes you feel more awake during like lectures. Also, another way that could help you get back into the groove is like trying to fix your outfit every day. It makes you feel ready and less lazy when you're doing classes, and like it sure like having like wearing your pajamas like every single day makes you feel more comfortable, but it also helps you like feel a lot more lazy, and like at least for me like it helps me start with like productiveness and stuff like that. Another way is you could make lists and map out your classes for the semester. It help for me. It like helps me organize my thoughts, like just listing out like the certain important stuff that are like due throughout the semester and what's like important like throughout each week and what I need to get done. And setting reminders like in Google Calendars or in Outlook really helps remind me when like classes are, especially in the beginning when I don't really remember what like my schedule is. And I feel really accomplished when I check the tasks throughout the whole time. So it's like a very rewarding feeling.
So now we're gonna go and talk about burnout and prevention. So very first, it's important to establish what burnout is. So burnout typically is like this overwhelming feeling of having so much on your plate. You feel like you don't have enough time. Um, and typically when you have burnout, the symptoms are like lack of energy. You're like really tired for some reason. You don't know why. Inability to focus. This could be like you simply just can't focus on one task at a time, or you just really can't like focus at all. Like you have so much on your head that you can't even like think properly. And this can really become an issue when comes to like studying for exams and stuff. If you're so burnt out, you're not retaining the information as much as you should be. Another important sign about burnout is frequently sick. I didn't know this was a sign a couple of years ago, and my first year, I would get sick like so often. I would get sick like every month, every other month, and I never understood why. I was like, I've never been this sick before. I was a healthy child, and then I come to realize it was just a symptom of burnout, of me being so stressed out with school that my body was reacting to that. um Very important, another symptom is low motivation. I feel like this is probably like the biggest one. When you're burnt out and you have like so much stress, like you're so overwhelmed with it, like you don't want to do it, you don't want to even look at it. Especially when it comes to school or even being with family or just like hanging out with friends, you like don't have the motivation to hang out with them. And that could also be burnout because your body is so like drained from the stress, that your body is just like, just stay in bed, like don't move. Um, and it's very important to know these symptoms because burnout is a huge aspect, especially in college students' lives. Like, there's so many like reasons to be burnt out. It could be you're burnt out from like life at home for those of you who are staying at home. You could be burnt out from just school, like, or it could be a accumulation of everything. It's very important to start noticing the signs now. That way you can prevent burnout. And we'll go ahead and talk about that next. So knowing the signs, very, very important to prevent it. Okay. Um, like I said, if you kind of like see these signs and you don't take note of it, it's just gonna make it to burnout a lot worse. Um, and then if you see that you're experiencing any of these symptoms, take a step back and know that it's okay to say no sometimes. It's okay to be like, you know what? I need a day for me. This is too much. Um, and then definitely ask for help. Sometimes like school can be too stressful and like let's say you kind of just like don't understand a concept and you're trying so hard to get it, but you're burning yourself out trying to just get that one concept down. That's when it's a good idea to go ahead and ask your classmates for help, hey, like, hey, do you want to do study group? Or just go to office hours or go to your TA's office hours and kind of be like, okay, I didn't understand this. I tried doing this on my own and it wasn't working out. Can you please help me? That sometimes really helps alleviate some of the burnout. And then practice regular self-care routines. It's very important, like as Sumi mentioned, like early on, get your schedule set. Um, so start your like Google Calendar, whatever your agenda, whatever you use, set that in stone and then have regular self-care routines. So let's say you're like you don't have classes on Friday. So what you tell yourself is Fridays after 6 p.m. I'm not gonna do any schoolwork. I'm just gonna sit down, watch some Netflix, whatever it is. But definitely practice those regular self-care routines so that when it comes down to it, you're not overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Okay, go ahead and move on to me.
So something that's really important is like maintaining like a self-care routine um within like those busy days and those busy schedules. So what is self-care? So self-care is many things. It really depends on the person what self-care can be, and it really just depends on like what a person needs and what they need to do to replenish their energy and to continue being productive and mentally well. Some examples of self-care can be like treating yourself, for example, bubble baths, enjoying a hobby, having like a movie night with like friends, obviously online because it's COVID. But it's also important to just like take care of yourself in general, especially if you're just neglecting that, like making sure you like take a shower when you need to, doing completing chores and tasks, like making sure you have a clean environment that you're living in. Like doing that is like just really well, does goes really well, like helping your mental health and helping prevent burnout and like other things as well. Um, both ways are like just ways that you could like prevent that from hurting your mental health. And self-care is like just really important because it could be used like as a preventative way to like stop burnout, like just keeping yourself in check so that you don't feel like overwhelmed, and making sure that you have enough time to take care of yourself and your own needs. But it can also alleviate some of the effects of burnout as well. Um,
Um, Really quick before we go ahead and move on, something I want to say about self-care. Like Sue said, self-care is completely different to everybody. It's not the same thing for everybody. So one another way people sometimes practice self-care is by simply eating healthier. Um, so let's say you want to like take care of your body more and eating healthy is one way to do that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, face masks and facials. That's not what self-care is. Well, it could be to you, but it's not self-care to everybody. It could be, going on a walk every single day or just changing up your routine here and there. And I want you to feel like self-care is very important. It's a very important part to establish now, early on in the semester. So that way, when it comes later on to semester, when we start getting to mid-semester and finals and stuff like that, you don't feel like you're all alone. Like you take that time for yourself to prevent burnout and to prevent you from overstressing. So we'll go ahead and go into our final remarks. So, for SMP, go ahead and move on to me. So for SMP, our upcoming events, we do have this Friday on January 29th at, ooh, I forgot the time. Let me double check. I think it's at 6 p.m. No. Yeah, I think it's at 6 p.m. We have coffee with confos. So that's just like enjoy some fun time with SMP staff. That event is particularly held just for first year students that are in our program. Um, and then next week we do have another workshop. It's Jumpstart Your Second Year. It'll be Wednesday, February 3rd at 3 p.m. We will have a professional staff come help us prepare students to get ready for their following years at UC Merced. Um, and then go ahead and move on. And as always, please follow us on our social media pages. We're most active on our Instagram page, so feel free to follow us there. We're also very active on Facebook. So feel free to follow us. If y'all have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording and open up the last couple of minutes to ask questions.